Obsession Podcast. New topic today. Mike Stadler here with
Karl Bethke.
Shawn Devitt.
Thanks for stopping in here and checking us out.
You bet.
Today's topic, criteria for shooting a buck. What is our criteria for shooting a buck? Wow. This one could go on for months.
How about you start that one out, Mike?
Oh,
It's upright.
criteria for shooting a buck.
It's got 4 legs.
Well, I'll say, here's one thing I've learned.
Doesn't need 4 legs, but
This is a tough one.
It really is, if you think about it.
well,
I guess it comes down to me, first of all, and Karl and I have kind of started to do this. Now we want to start doing this the next several years, like till we're dead. So we really, now that we have some of our own property, we want to really evaluate what we have there. The work's going to get put in on everything we've got,
right.
and we're kind of going to see what we have wherever we can go, and whatever we deem a shooter, whatever that might be,
Yeah.
is a shooter. I'm not a score guy. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never have liked it. You
Recently,
like scores? Great.
recently got into some fucking arguments.
Yeah, there's a couple of them maybe,
Yeah.
But I really pick, like on my property, I obviously have a target. I have had target deer.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has target deer, at whatever size that might be, but that doesn't always happen. But the last 2 years I haven't shot my target deer, which we've talked about on some other ones, but I had one that piqued my interest
Yeah.
when I got pictures of him.
Made you excited.
Went in and like
That's it.
yeah, for me it goes to second nature. I don't think about it.
Right.
When the bow goes in my hand and I pull it back, it's going off.
Yeah.
If I got that shot, and I'm going to be happy with that deer. I don't judge other people's deer. I don't care what it scores.
Yep.
I don't care if it's 100
Age
inches, if
class,
it's 200
all
inches.
that.
It's really what's going to make you happy. You gotta, I guess you get one to 40 topics on this, but
You could.
Well,
you got to shoot them for yourself.
You got to live with your decision.
Yep.
And
You're
you got to
taking
be
an
happy.
animal's
You don't
life.
have to make anyone else happy
Yep.
about what deer you shot.
Don't
That's number
downgrade
one.
that animal either. That's
Yeah.
one big thing for me.
I noticed, and you guys have probably, we've talked about it before, all three of us talked about this before, but the first thing you see, this turns me off immediately whenever I see anything on the any sort of social media, where the first statement out of the individual's mouth is, not my biggest.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay? So, nobody cares it's not your biggest.
Well, he's not
deer.
a giant, but
He's
But
not
I'm
a giant.
happy with him.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Finally got her done.
Well,
Yeah.
After
oh,
one day.
that's the other thing.
Oh,
Now,
should
and
know
now we
that door.
kind of say this every now and
Yeah.
then, but I don't think we mean it like other people mean it.
No.
I think people will sit there and finally got it done. Like it was a job
Yeah.
where you just hated to go out and hunt.
I'm upset when it's done.
Oh, God, it makes me so angry when I watch it.
I had to sit 2 months in a tree stand. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Who the hell says
Well, like I
that?
said, I'm
Nobody?
I'm upset when it's done. I'm going, oh, no.
Yeah, now what do I do? So I told Karl this year.
Hopefully, yes,
Like,
CWD so I can hunt again.
Yeah, I shot that deer and I sent Karl a picture and he's like, congratulations. I said, I don't even know what to say right now. I go, what the hell am I going to do now?
I know.
Get them tested for CWD.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
That can earn you a triple B tag.
That's true. You
Yes,
get the
sir.
triple B tag.
Yeah.
But the thing about that, and you see it a lot. That's the part that bothers me the most. Is we see it a lot. And if you're hunting to impress other people, if you're shooting a buck to try and impress other people, you're hunting for the wrong reasons, in my view, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We're normal guys, and we've hunted, 30 years plus each. And to this day,
Whoa.
what?
30 years
Well, not him.
plus.
Oh yeah,
Come on now.
Not this guy.
He's young.
He's like 12.
He's still learning.
I'd like to
So
say
am
I was hunting since I was 9, but
Well, see, that's what I mean.
30
He's
years ago.
young, yeah.
yeah,
New guy.
It says here 25.
Okay, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is, we've got quite a bit of a deer hunting experience over the years, fortunate enough to take some pretty good animals. But to this day, if I'm sitting in a tree and a deer shows up and I get excited,
Yeah.
if I grab my bow and the shot's presented, he's probably going to get killed.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, and the other thing of it is, too, is especially during archery, you make a good shot on a buck that you decided to shoot. That's your accomplishment.
Oh yeah,
Right
that's
there.
huge.
Because I think people forget, Shawn, about all the work that went into coming up to
Exactly.
that 5 seconds of
Yeah.
fame in that tree.
Yeah.
So don't downplay the animal. You go, whoa, he's not as big as I thought he was, or well,
Yeah.
you know what? He didn't come by saying, "Hey, kill me."
Right.
Like, they don't want to die.
Right.
I've never seen an animal that doesn't want to die less.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
then a
point.
whitetail. Exactly.
Well, I mean, think about that though. You know, I mean, how do you decide what's the criteria for shooting a deer? Hey, does that deer excite you? I mean, are you going to be excited when you shoot that animal
Mhm.
and happy to take that animal and then give it? And I'll say this for all three of us: we don't shoot a buck and not put him on the wall.
Nope.
Exactly.
That's kind of a
Never.
rule. If I shoot a buck, that deer's going on the wall.
I mean, look at I shot a small 2.5-year-old mule deer in North Dakota, and it was one of the best days of my life.
Yep.
Betting was it my biggest mule deer? Not even close.
Right.
But that was a hard hunt, and I had an opportunity, and I mean, it was like I shot a 200-inch deer. Everybody that I was out hunting with was, I mean, ecstatic about getting that buck down.
That's the other thing too. You can't, you know, that particular deer that Shawn's talking about is on the same property, and Shawn's been out there with us too later in the year. But that's the same property you see me and Mike and Ron Webster and Bob Top hunt all the time. But it was a different time of year.
Right.
So the animals you were chasing, and then the other part of that too is that time of year things look totally different than when a month later when we're there hunting.
Right.
Well, I welcome anyone to go out and spot and stalk a muley.
Yeah.
Let me know how many 150-inch muley you're going to pass up.
Right.
Let me know how that works out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at the bodies of those animals, you're just amazed size-wise.
Oh, God.
Whitetails get big.
Yeah.
Mule deer get real big.
Especially in that kind of environment too. I
Yeah.
mean, you come from where we're at, whitetail hunting, where you're in all agriculture. You go out to sagebrush and dead grass.
And now you're spotting and stalking. Not
Now
sitting
you're
in a tree
spotting and
stand.
stalking, not sitting in a tree stand.
Well, I think it goes to 2 years ago I hunted the buck on my property.
Yeah.
I called the landlord.
Yeah.
Had him there for 3 years, watched him grow, just an absolute giant. 160 inches as an 8-pointer, with another 20-inch beam on him and a split. I hunted the hell out of that deer. I overhunted him. I made lots of mistakes. Had a couple encounters, couldn't make it happen. Late in the year, I had an opportunity at a big 8-pointer at another property, and I took it.
Yeah.
I didn't think twice about
Exactly.
that deer still being at my property because I wasn't making it happen. I'm like, this I made happen. I'm finishing the deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was just as happy with that deer as obviously I wanted to harvest the one off my property.
Right.
But I was ecstatic with that.
And I had that this year. I had deer up at my other property that were 170 all day. And I had a couple at my smaller property at home, which is more important to me to shoot something there with my bow.
Yeah.
And I shot a, I don't know, 140 inch, I don't know, whatever he was, maybe 150, I don't know. Whatever he
I
was.
think Karl and I got to go to Shawn's 170-inch property.
Yeah. Something's got to happen.
But I could
There's
have
going to be rules. I'm
coulda-
just telling you now.
I could have stayed and just tried to get one of those giants, and
For
it
sure.
wasn't so I could put it on Facebook
Yep.
and have everybody look at this deer with all these splits. Do I want to shoot him? Absolutely.
Yep.
But I had a beautiful, 4.5. I don't remember if he was 4.5 or what he was. Beautiful buck walk in front of me.
Yeah.
Not even a question. I grabbed that bow and he was dead within 5 seconds of walking in that food plot.
Yeah.
I mean, not even a question. Well, I got bigger deer up here.
Sure, everybody's
this
got
and
big
that.
deer.
Well, that comes down to your decision, and that's what the question is about, criteria-wise. Criteria for us, I think, is if it excites us, we're going to shoot
And
it.
I think, like Mike said, second nature. It's like that's not even going through your head when a deer walks out in front of you. It's just I grab the bow, I'm pulling back, I'm shooting. You don't even think
You've seen
about
something
other
that
deer
interests you, so
or
it's gonna
anything
happen.
else at that point.
I'm going to be completely honest. I can't pass up most open young deer.
No.
No,
Now,
I did.
that being said, this year I was fortunate enough to shoot the deer I wanted to shoot. And I passed quite a few pretty good deer before that. But I knew I had weeks of vacation.
But what was going to happen that last week?
Any of those deer that I let go the first week were going to die.
Yeah, even though yours was still there.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you want to...
Yeah, and I will tell you this too. I think that's the hardest thing for me is a pulping young animal is a trophy buck. I don't care if it's 125.
100%.
You know, if whatever 115-inch deer for a lot of people are trophy animals. If that's the animal you want to take, then be happy to take that animal.
You know, especially like we touched on before, when it comes to archery, I mean, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And, you know, seeing a buck in its natural, and just getting to the point where you can shoot him and actually take his life, where you've done your homework, you've done your work, everything comes together. Size goes out the window when that opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, and now we're going to talk a little bit about public land hunting. You know, because I know there's a lot of guys that don't have land or don't have leases or whatever and hunting public land. Here's how I thought about it when Mike and I were hunting a lot of public. If we had cameras that we were getting, camera pictures, if we were be able to use those at the time, we hunt, and I still do this, I hunt the top 10% of the bucks I have on the property. Because there are no bigger deer on that property. I don't care if it's an 80-inch buck on that property, and that's the number one size deer, that's the deer I'm going to try and
So
hunt.
that's all there is. You can only hunt what you got there.
Right. The other thing you have to
And I'm not going
consider...
to bitch about it, though, if I don't get it.
The other thing you have to consider too, you know, going back to, you know, whether you're an archer, you know, you're more of an archery hunter, or you hunt archery and rifle or whatever, in this state, there's not a lot of people passing a lot of horns when it comes to gun hunting. So depending on your property,
Yeah.
you know, you might have a buck, like you said, 80, 90, 110, 120 inches. There's a very good probability that buck might not make it through the year. And, and I mean,
sure.
that's a decision you got to personally make.
Yeah.
And again, I think, you know, like Mike said it best, it's second nature. I mean, there's something that takes over what you're doing at that moment when you decide to shoot a deer.
I've heard people say too, what you're talking about is, you know, the people around you will shoot the deer. And I've heard people say, well, I'm shooting him because I know neighbors will. And I've heard people argue with those people. Well, you can't think of it that way. Blah, blah. Well, it all goes by where you hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you don't have a block that you own, let me know how many of your deer are walking by you every time and making it, because it's pretty tough. Like,
Yeah.
like if you
600-700
if you're passing
acres.
up a 140-inch buck and I'm passing one and you're passing one, Carl, I will guarantee 100% if that deer walks off my property past a neighbor, he is getting shot.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Every time.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
And would I like to be able to be somewhere where I could pass up 140-inch deer? Well, yeah, who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't have that capability right now.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other part of it too, and this all goes along with the criteria part of things. Is they're not my deer, Mike's deer, Shawn's deer, whatever. They're a free roaming animal, and if they roam onto the neighbors and they shoot them, and then your neighbor comes over to you and shows you a picture of this deer, you got to be happy for them,
Right.
okay? Because
it's heartbreaking sometimes.
It is.
It is. I mean, for instance, and I'm just going to throw this out and it'll probably bring some feelings back, but fucking Mike's buck that he talked about was shot while we were in North Dakota mule deer hunting, was shot by the neighbor with a rifle. And I mean, an absolute giant. And of course, you know, Mike would like to have shot that deer, but
Didn't work out.
you got to congratulate the neighbor.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean,
because that deer did something he never did.
Yeah. The neighbor even told me, never had him on camera, ever. And I had him there for 3 years.
Yeah.
I only have 40 acres,
Yep.
but that was his home. And he went by his camera one time, right behind a doe, opening morning,
Gotcha.
and got himself dead right at light.
Yeah.
You know, that deer was old.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was way smarter than that,
Yeah.
but he wasn't that day.
Yeah.
You know, and he was in my property the night we left. I had pictures of him.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's just too much.
There's too many variables.
There's way too many variables, and I think, like you said, when a neighbor shoots something, there's just too much hate all around in the hunting industry.
the whole
you know, of who's shooting
sport.
what and this and that, and people against each other and trying to shoot the biggest deer. Mine's older than yours. My horns are bigger. whatever. I mean, you got to throw all that stuff out the window, and you got to assess what's good for you,
Right.
and where you're hunting, and what you can get away with, and what you can't.
Right.
And again, it all just comes down to personal feelings about what
we'd
you're
all
doing.
like to shoot 200 inches every year with our bow, right?
Well, that's a given.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a given. That's a given.
I mean, you know, when I don't shoot one, it's because it's not 200.
I think in this sport, if you can figure out how to be happy for everybody, is when you're really making it. I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've been with both you two hunting, lots of guys hunting, and I'm ecstatic when somebody else shoots
Well,
a deer.
yeah.
Like, I love it. I really love it because I like to see the people that have the passion. And I don't give a damn what it scores.
No,
if
right.
it scores great, cool.
Well,
You know, I watch people shoot forks, 6-pointers,
you know,
never shot a buck before.
Oh yeah.
You know, how are you going to downplay that to somebody?
well,
and
and
people
that's,
do it.
That's how it was when we were out in North Dakota this year. I mean, for me, it was, you know, we came on these deer, and like I said, he's not even close to the biggest mule deer I've ever shot, but I wanted to shoot him, and then it gave me time to focus on guys that I was with that have never shot a mule deer.
Yeah.
And I worked my tail off, and we were chasing way bigger deer that I could have just said, "Hey, you get out and you shoot that smaller one, because that's not, I'm not going to shoot that." That wasn't the point.
Yeah.
You know, the point was I was there really, you know, for the experience and to
I've
help these
people
guys.
kill bigger deer than I've killed, and I think
And
it's
it was
great.
more important to me.
Mike's guide series.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
It's a good
it
one.
was, and I mean, it's the same here. I got my dad. You know, he's crossbow hunting, and you know, he can't use vertical bow. I mean, he's never shot anything. I mean, I don't care. And it was the same with my brother during rifle season this year. I didn't care. I'm at a property where we've got 170, 180 inch deer walking around, and I didn't care what they shot. 110, 100 inch, as long as it's just shoot anything. I don't care if it's a spike.
Yeah.
Just get your first buck down and be happy as hell.
Sure.
Yeah.
Get it out for you.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's a big thing. You know, Mike and I started Rush Outdoors basically 20 years ago, and the statement that we put out was 80 to 180 inches. They're all trophies to the people that take that animal.
Yes, 100%.
Now, over the years and recently, more than others, you know, we have staff that come in and out, and I've had staff that's been here a while, and all of a sudden, for some reason, I don't know what happened, but there's been some people that haven't been happy or friendly about certain things, or seem to think that they deserve to get more than other people, and been pretty boisterous about it to me. And these people are going to have to. They won't be on staff next year, and they're getting informed here shortly of that. But I can't have people around me that aren't positive. Like these two guys with me right now are probably the two most positive guys that I've been around in a long time when it comes to hunting. It doesn't matter. You know, we text each other when we shoot something, and everybody's happy, congratulating each other and all that. And I think that's what needs to be conveyed for the hunting industry.
It's not a competition.
It's not a competition. I'll tell you right now, you can shoot 120 or 120, 140, 160, 200 inch, 220 inch deer. Somebody's gonna shoot one bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sooner or later.
You know
And
what I'm mad when
stop
people
thinking
shoot a
you're gonna
deer?
get rich.
You know
that
what-
drives me nuts.
You know what I'm mad when people shoot a deer?
When?
When they don't tell me.
Oh yeah.
Because I want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know? Like I'll drive to your place if you needed help. If I
Oh,
wasn't
I
with
know.
you and you're hunting and you're 2 hours away, like I'm in the truck.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Wife's like, you're going, I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go find a deer, you know?
And that works. That works both ways for all of us.
Right.
You know, and I really have that. That really. That's come about. I think that's come about over the last 5 to 10 years more than anything I've seen.
Well,
Or if somebody shoots a big deer, immediately people. I'm going to throw this out right now. So this year,
Get out.
I shot Shocker.
Yep.
I posted it up on Facebook, you know, to show everybody I shot the number one deer in my property, because I've talked about it in the shows and stuff before. So you get congratulations, obviously from you guys. It comes right away because you see everything right away. You were with me.
I was there.
And, you know, that all comes into play. But immediately, the very next day, some guy's telling me I poached it off of his land.
oh, jeez.
Now listen. Sauk County. He's
Yeah.
like, you shot that deer in Sauk, you didn't shoot it where you shot it, da-da-da-da-da. That's the deer that was on my property, I got pictures. So he sends me a picture of it. And I look at it, and in his defense, it had a double main beam like mine. But it's totally different. You really just got to look
Not
at it.
even in the same part of the state.
Yeah. So
That's interesting. How did you do that? I was with you.
it was impressive.
Nice.
I shot it and saw.
And then you drove it
I
back up.
helicoptered over
Oh,
the
yeah,
rush
right.
outdoors chopper.
Or you just
Didn't
flung,
you hear it come in and
flung
out?
an arrow
I did
from
not.
a
It's
couple
'cause I had
hundred
it on
miles
stealth
away.
mode.
I did not.
Just flung an arrow from
Right.
100 miles away.
Well, you know, but
Pretty good shot.
But my whole
GPS on
point
the
is,
arrow.
this individual couldn't be happy
Yep.
for me shooting a deer because he thought it was
His
free
deer?
free roaming animals. His deer.
That's my deer, Carl.
Oh yeah,
Damn it.
yeah.
Not really.
No,
No.
Sean, your
No.
deer?
No, I
Your
don't
deer?
think so.
No, okay, it's just
I
checking.
don't think any of them are
But-
mine.
That actually
Not
upset
till you
me.
shoot it.
Yeah,
Not till you
that
shoot it.
actually upset me more than. I mean, I was hot. I was walking around mad, and you know how I am when I get mad. It's
I
not
have
good.
never seen you mad, Carl.
You liar, liar. But yeah, I mean, you feel. I don't know.
It,
Invaded. You feel, like somebody broke into your house.
Yeah. Who the hell is somebody else to tell somebody?
Yeah, and why would you accuse somebody of that? That's the part that I have a problem with. And it's not everybody, but you see a lot of it on the internet. When anybody shoots a big deer, whether it be in another state or not, next thing you know, if you look at that thread, it's like 400, 500 comments. Oh, his coach did this, did that.
it's not this, it's not that, that's
Yeah.
only three
Get
and a
over
half,
yourselves,
that's only
people.
this or that.
Come on.
Well, and I think, like for us, I mean, there's a sense of freedom when you realize this.
Yeah.
When you're out hunting. I mean, and we've all been through those stages of your hunting career where I got to shoot the biggest deer. I want to shoot the biggest deer. I want to shoot, but once you get past that and you realize, you're hunting and it's fun. It's not supposed to be.
You mean you can enjoy it?
You enjoy it. I mean, it's a freedom of being out and saying, I don't care what anybody else thinks. If I post something
I don't.
and people want to rip it apart, just gonna delete you,
Oh, yeah.
or whatever, or I'm not gonna respond. I'm not gonna care because I'm happy about it. And I mean, that's a big deterrent. I think people are, especially younger people coming up, are seeing a really bad, light on the hunting industry of guys that have certain properties and they've got 500, 600, 700 acres and they're shooting 180, 190 inch whitetail every year. And it's, I mean, even my Marlo, my stepdaughter, I show her pictures of deer. She watches hunting shows with me and stuff like that. And she's like, well, I'll take her for youth season this year. And she's like, wow, I'm not going to shoot that one with just the little spikes coming out of his head. And I'm like, why not? All of a sudden, little Forky comes in front of her. She was shaking like a leaf. She couldn't even hold it on. She asked me to take the gun out of her hand because she was shaking so bad. And it's like right there. That's how I feel every time I shoot a deer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
especially afterwards. And if you don't feel that, you need to assess what you're doing.
Oh yeah, that's true. I
You're
think
not
when I go to
hunting for
full draw,
yourself.
I get deathly calm when I go to full
Yeah.
draw.
And then afterwards,
After the
it's-
shot, I'm like,
I'm a
I'm
wreck.
a mess.
oh my god,
You don't want me following up a shot, I'll tell you that. It's terrible.
Especially when you don't see that deer drop. I mean, my deer I shot this
usually
year.
you see that deer drop.
I shot him at 27, 28 yards. I mean, from 25 feet above him, and God, I hope that shot was good. God, I hope that shot was good. It was perfect. He didn't go more than 60 yards, but I mean, that half hour, 45 minutes that I was waiting,
And it was probably 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it probably was.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like I was going to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
And
I'm not even going to get into my story on that
Yeah,
one.
we're not going to. I can show you the text.
Jesus,
um,
I was an absolute pile.
But I
there.
think that's really the reality is that people are putting way too much pressure on size, age class. Now it's an age class thing. Well, he's only a
Dude, I'm going to tell you
3.5-year-old.
right now,
Give me a break.
90% of the people that think they can judge the age of a deer, including myself, are wrong.
Yeah, we're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, when I had my all day, I'm like, that's a 4.5-year-old deer. Had it tested, 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yep.
3.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here going, man, that thing was 3.
Yeah.
Imagine him at 4 or 5. Well, it doesn't matter because he's going right on that wall.
That one I shot this year that I tested, 2. He was 2.
No kidding?
That's what the test said.
Really?
I'd have never guessed that.
I would have never guessed mine was 3.
That
but
was a big deer.
I'm no
Yeah.
biologist.
I'm like,
you know.
I'm like, wow. I wish I could have let him live.
Yeah,
but
I
I
know.
couldn't.
Exactly.
Wow.
And you wouldn't. You do it 100
I do it
times
again.
over.
I mean, it's
100
because I
times
don't
over.
care. Like you said, I don't care what people think. You don't care what people think. I think another good example is a good friend of mine this year that you just talked with him the other night.
Phil?
Yeah, was
Phil?
really loves to hunt, huge passion for it, pushing too hard, just pushing too hard to get that big deer, and finally got him to, dude, just take your time and shoot a good buck that comes out, and he came out and made a phenomenal shot on a nice animal, and he's like I get it, you know, I'm like, get a few of them down. If you want to pass deer up, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
but get a few down and try to overcome that.
Right.
Yeah, I talked with Phil the other night. Mike had a party. They had up at their club, and Phil and I have never really sat down and talked. But man, talking with that guy, you can just see the passion in his eyes, and how he loves to do this stuff. And get a few under his belt, and man, he'll just be pounding good bucks every year.
Yeah. And like I said, you get past that. What is everybody else gonna think? You know, mode of thinking, and it's a sense of freedom of just being out in the woods and enjoying it, and what works for you.
I almost need, and I know you guys are the same, I need to be out in the woods.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have that stress relief, it wouldn't be good. I think.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
And so
I agree.
I think all of us.
Well, right, and I mean, you know, we went out to Montana this year, and we went elk hunting, and with really no expectations of what to shoot or what we were going to run into. And I mean, I was like, I will shoot a cow, you know, just to shoot a cow.
Yeah, I get it.
So
yeah,
I mean, it's the same thing.
For us, what's the criteria?
Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, 100%. Whatever makes you happy.
Makes things pretty simple. Whatever makes you happy is the way we look at it. You know, if you want to start doing age groups and stuff like that, you better educate yourself a lot.
Yeah, let me know how you can do that. 'Cause I have a hard time with it.
Yeah. Been doing it over 30 years. Let me know how that works. So,
right.
But we're probably end the podcast here. You know, like we said, if it makes you happy, go ahead and shoot it. That's our criteria for shooting a lot. Pretty simple for us. So we'll talk to you guys next week. We'll have another question from the audience. Not sure what we're going to have next week, but we'll go over there. We're looking at Saturdays at 7 a.m. for the show. Premiere every Saturday on our YouTube channel. You guys can subscribe to the channel. Also be able to check it out on Spotify. Send us some more of your questions. We're always willing to answer questions. We appreciate all you guys' support, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Thanks for tuning in.